Ukrainian drones attack Russian territories. An escalating aerial front. The ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia has recently seen a pronounced shift in strategy. The use of drones by Ukraine to strike deep into Russian territories represents a significant escalation in tactics. On one of these occasions, the Russian capital, Moscow, was targeted, sending shockwaves through the nation and signaling Ukraine's capacity and willingness to strike back. Sergei Sobyanin, the mayor of Moscow, offered a reassuring statement that the capital's air defenses were up to the task, successfully intercepting the inbound drone. While there were no casualties or damage in Moscow, the psychological impact of such an event cannot be understated. It's a clear message from Ukraine about its growing aerial offensive capabilities. Kursk, a region situated in southwest Russia, wasn't as fortunate. The town of Kurchanov witnessed a drone strike, damaging a non-residential building. While two drones were reportedly targeting the town, details about the second drone's fate remain unconfirmed. These drone offensives are far from sporadic. A significant attack earlier in the week targeted 6 regions in Russia, representing the most expansive drone assault since the beginning of the conflict. This evolving landscape begs the question, is the drone the new front in the Russia-Ukraine war? Moscow's airspace. The emerging flashpoint amid drone threats? Air travel in Moscow has become a casualty in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The increasing frequency of drone attacks on Russian territories, especially the capital, has compelled authorities to adopt a more cautious stance regarding air traffic. In a move that underscores the severity of the threat, flights from Moscow's main airports, Vnukovo, Domodedovo, and Zhukovsky, were temporarily halted. The official reasoning given by Rosaviatsia, Russia's federal aviation agency, was to ensure the safety of civil aircraft, although they did not specify the exact reason behind the sudden airspace restrictions. These disruptions come on the heels of another significant incident where Moscow faced its largest drone assault since the war's inception. Given these circumstances, it's evident that Ukraine is leveraging aerial warfare to target not just military or strategic objectives, but also to disrupt daily life in Russia, possibly aiming to reduce domestic support for the war. Children in the crossfire. Gravest crimes in Russia-Ukraine war. Wars are notorious for their human toll, but what is unfolding in Ukraine seems to be a particularly dark chapter in the annals of conflict. Ukrainian authorities have pulled back the curtain on a deeply distressing scene where children appear to be direct targets in the ongoing hostilities. With over 3,000 criminal cases reported against alleged Russian offenses towards children, Ukraine seems to be facing a humanitarian crisis of alarming proportions. Yulia Yuzenko, who leads a department committed to protecting children and combating violence in Ukraine, painted a bleak picture. The charges against Russian forces range from acts of murder and mutilation to the more heinous crimes of abductions and sexual assaults against minors. In a narrative that stands out for its horror, it's been alleged that 75 children were subjected to varied forms of torture. A majority of them hailing from the village of Yehidny were reportedly confined with adults in a school basement. The condition, as per Yushchenko, was so dire that it could only be equated with torture. Russia, for its part, continues to deny these claims. However, the sheer volume of these allegations, supported by multiple global agencies and bodies, suggests that the truth might be far grimmer than what is currently known. The international community will undoubtedly be watching closely as the mistreatment of children in conflict zones represents one of the most significant violations of human rights.